Okay, now you know what I need to do here is I would love to have like a theme. Maybe one of the show musicians can, finagle that and make an Alan from Blue Frost IT theme. I don't know. What do you think? Is that something that it might be fun?
Yeah,
Alan,
it could
welcome. How are you? Do
work could
you
work.
do you play music yourself? You look like you'd probably play drums or something.
No,
Maybe.
not at all. Actually, I actually want to learn the piano.
Yeah. Did you play anything when you were in high school, growing up at all?
Nope, nope.
Play that recorder thing, they
Oh
have the
yeah,
record.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was third grade though.
What a horrible, horrible instrument that is. I mean, there is nothing about that sounds good. I think that thing was created not to drum up interest in music in the child, but actually to make the parents insane. You know.
Probably.
What are you working on right now, buddy? Because I know you've been busy, but tell me what's going on in your world.
Not a lot. Well, I mean, lots of stuff are going on. With personal stuff and then work and life too. I mean,
That's
we
what I
just
mean.
wrapped up.
Work
Oh, I mean,
wise.
work. I mean, we just wrapped up a huge project out by the lakeshore area. That was a full from the ground up, server, from the server rack all the way up, their battery backups, a backup system, servers, all their switches, their firewall, their access points inside the office, printers, a couple computers. They had some already, but some they wanted to replace, so we did a few of those as well. I mean, just a massive project.
Oh my God! So the customer very happy. Everything good.
Oh yeah, everything's very good. Everything works great. We even put wireless through the whole warehouse, so they can be out in the middle of the warehouse and still have network connections or access to the network if they need it.
So do you ever get to hear how the people who you serve, like let's say you get this done, you check back with them in a few weeks and see how much more productive everybody is in the workplace?
Yeah, I already know a lot of people are happier because they were using just like residential wireless in their office trying to do things, and they were doing a lot of like graphic design work, and it's very slow because they're large files. So now that they're hardwired into the network, then yeah, no, everything is
Right.
a much faster.
Excellent. I understand you spent some time with a guy who is enjoying this right now. That would be the one and only Joey Williamson. He has this to say about you and me. Can you break down what it was like this weekend? Because he said he was going to be joining you.
This weekend?
I mean, this past weekend. Because
Uh,
you didn't see him because he indicated to me that he saw you.
no, I think it was the weekend before that.
It was? Because this
Yeah.
past weekend I talked to him about WrestleMania, which I'm sure he talks your ear off about, maybe.
No,
But
not all wrestling anyways. No, this past weekend I was like, wait, no, this past weekend was kind of low key, and then the weekend before that was this past weekend was Easter weekend, but we celebrated Easter weekend the weekend prior.
oh,
Because
yeah.
just
All right.
timing with family and stuff worked out better.
How the heck did you get to know that guy?
I met Joey through his fiance, who is friends with my wife. They used to work together.
Excellent. Okay. He said it was for your birthday, which you just celebrated.
Oh yeah. That was back in March.
Holy shit! I'm an idiot. I could have swore it was like just this other day. My God, what is wrong with me? Okay. So yeah,
Thanks,
man.
Swami.
It absolutely is. If anybody has a tech-related question that they want to ask on any of the platforms, because this is on Facebook, Kenny, I just sent you an invite, so get on there. Unless if you're too busy building video games or something like that. Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. If you're getting this, if you have anything tech-related that you have a question about, you can definitely throw it at Alan, and I will post it, and then Alan can maybe answer it. So whatever it is at all that you might have a question for on this Pivotal Tech Tuesday, do leave the question, and perhaps Alan can answer it for you. Okay, so one of the things I talked about on the podcast was people who, let's say, they got a kid who's like a really good student, and he's worked his tail off into video games. When it comes to building a gaming system, that's something you can do, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So
I mean,
yeah,
you can. The big problem is video cards are so hard to find, just because of the cryptocurrency market. Just the cryptocurrency market is just destroying the video card market. Just for the pure fact, like the latest NVIDIA was a 3080. They said it was quote unquote unhackable, and that if it detected that it was doing cryptocurrency, that it would like downclock itself so it would be like worthless because they're trying to get these cards into actual hands of people that want to use them for video gaming. But people are buying lots of 500 to 1,000 of these things at a clip. Spending hundreds of thousands of dollars just buying every last one on the market just so they can mine Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever. So that's the hardest thing right now is, we can build them, but it's sometimes video card availability. Even like the used market for video cards has skyrocketed. A card that is $500 used is still holding a value of around $450, even though it's used. Still holding a pretty high resale value.
Do you have any cryptocurrency? Are you involved in this
no,
thing?
Never got into it.
I would never. You don't have a person who's my age does not have the ability to grasp what's going on there. I've had people try to explain it to my old ass, and I can't. It doesn't. I'm like, it's ridiculous. It's trying to teach an 80-year-old guy how to work a freaking smartphone. It doesn't work.
Yeah, no, I never got into it. I didn't do a whole lot. Especially in the infancy. I mean, we're still talking over 10 plus years ago now. And it really, some places actually do accept it. Some places don't. So it really just depends. The market can fluctuate too much depending upon which coin you're using. If it is Bitcoin, there's 6 people in the world that own like 85% of it. So they can manipulate the market if they want to. And, it's not very well regulated. You say that, it was years ago, Bitcoin was, $18,000 for one. It's like, really? You used to be able to buy them for 20 cents.
I just want to hear about the one guy who actually bought it for that price and just hung on to it. And now, there has to be a few people like that who are. Did you hear all those stories about people who would like trash their computers, which had on their hard drive all of their Bitcoins and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh my God.
There was actually a guy years ago. He was the owner of a Bitcoin bank, basically. He was the only one with the super admin password that they used. He was the only one that knew that password. Well, that guy died unexpectedly.
So it's gone.
So last I heard, everybody just lost everything. I never heard any updates on it. So if they were able to
holy shit,
get it released for everybody so they can get their stuff back, that's great. But yeah, last I heard that was years and years ago. But it's like, wow. $50 million worth of Bitcoin just went poof because no one could access it anymore.
Your pal and mine, Joey, writes, thanks to Alan for introducing us to PlayStation Virtual Reality. My other half and I have been playing Beat Saber. Okay, now this sounds like something that I would really like, because is this the type of thing where you have the deal on and everything around? Dude, I'm telling you, if I got involved in something like that, I don't know if I'd ever want to do anything else other than that. Because the one time I was exposed to virtual reality, I was just like, oh my God, this is so awesome. It was a really simple game where you're like in like an aquarium looking at tropical fish. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? It's the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, we have quite a few. I mean, the next time we should have you over or something and we can show you how to play some.
What is Beat Saber? What do you do?
Beat Saber is just a game it's like DDR, if you remember that, or any game that plays along with music. But you have your wands. You have to hit certain cubes. There's 2 different color cubes. You have 2 different color wands. You match the colors. You match and then you get to hit. There's a directional arrow which way you have to hit them. Then you play along the songs. Like we have like the Linkin Park album. We have Green Day. We've got a bunch of like EDM type music or like dance club music. There's quite a few mixes out there that are a lot of fun. So
and DDR is Dance Revolution, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the one where you use your feet for, where you're playing along to music. Yeah, it's just now you're in virtual reality.
Are there first player shooter games that are virtual reality?
I believe so. I don't know. I only play a few games. I don't do a lot.
I would freaking love that. I would love that.
I don't know if the quality's there. I mean, I played Gran Turismo 5. That'll mess with your senses a lot because you're expecting to feel like a body roll. You're like driving inside the car. You can look around the entire cockpit of the car. It's really cool, and you can even look over the guy next to you and see the the AI driver in there, and then want to smash into him. But
yeah.
But when you're going on a corner, you're expecting to feel like the body roll and the G-force pulling you, and you don't. So it like really kind of messes with your head.
Hey, one of the things I've been touching on quite a bit on the show is, with regard to Blue Frost IT, the multi-pronged approach, Jesus, for the business, managed IT work, which is kind of like what I utilize you for, which is like if I have my own boots on the ground team, in case something goes south, and you can either remote in, or you can, if you needed to, you can come here and fix something. And then there's also the project work that you just talked about that you do.
That project turned into managing as well.
Oh, okay. That's great. How did those people, how did you get this job? Did you find out about it? You bid on it, or did they come to you? I mean, how does it all unfold?
We actually had done what we were planning to work with them last year before the shutdown hit, the first one.
Okay.
And then all of that just blew up because no one's spending money right now back in March. So I just had, contacted them back and just down the road, and they're like, yeah, we actually want to move forward with this project. So we're like, okay. So we sat back down, we went over everything we wanted to do, got some updated numbers on pricing for parts. Because in a year, things are going to change,
Right.
But
right.
Yeah, now that we built the network from the ground up, I know the ins and outs of it, and then it turned into now we're going to manage it on a monthly basis for them as well.
Do you have help when you're doing a project? Are you alone? Are you like a lone wolf when you're on these projects?
I had Ashlyn come with me. I think this will probably be her last big project, just because of the pregnancy, coming up on 10 weeks to go this weekend. So, getting a belly going, so I don't want. It wasn't like she was doing like anything high stress. She was sitting in a chair, working on cables, so it wasn't a big deal. But as far as like climbing ladders or sitting on a stool or climbing, all that stuff. No, we're all done with that. We're not doing anything like that anymore. But no, I do have people that if I needed extra help or extra bodies or hands, to run long cable lines, I got a couple guys I can call for that. If I need, just more network support for like networking equipment and setup, it's just a lot of, I can only do so much. On a machine, and I got all these other machines that need provisioning and configuring. I could call another buddy to come in and be like, hey, can you configure that switch over there? I'm going to work on this firewall here.
Nice.
I do have helps.
Do you guys know if it's a boy or a girl yet?
We're not finding out this time.
Nice. I love that. So like the day the baby,
I say he a lot. So, but people are like he, and I'm like, no, I just call it a he because I'm hoping for a boy because we have a girl, so we have a girl and a boy. Everything's great.
Are you a 2-kid family, 3-kid family, 4-kid family? See where this takes you.
2 for sure. There's been talks and rumors of maybe a 3rd down the road. No.
Is it okay? Well, you got to
see how chaotic life is with 2.
Can you imagine if it's 3 girls, though? I mean, seriously, man, you're dead if that's the case.
I'm outnumbered.
I had never. I was raised with like 4 brothers, so I had no idea about this world of daughters, which you're living through right now. And
I have 1.
You have 1, but she's not to the age where everything goes crazy. So you're still. I mean, it's okay, but it's coming, man. It's coming.
Yeah,
that's good.
Nick says, awesome. So no tragic gender reveal story down the road. It's like, yeah, we did one for our first one. I just popped a balloon, a really big balloon with confetti in it. We did not want to try some giant explosion and set half of Michigan on fire.
Sure. Kill somebody, plane crash.
Piece of metal rips through someone's leg.
The ones that get me are the ones where they are making an explosive surrounded in metal. They don't know what they're doing. The bomb goes off. And then the shrapnel actually kills grandma, which actually did happen. I was
listening to that podcast.
Oh,
it's like Jesus.
What has happened? Can you imagine the fact that you're bringing a child into the world with this type of misery around it? And then the lady who actually created the gender reveals, she's so sick by all this because it's all her fault because everybody else has ruined it. Unbelievable.
Yeah, like I said, it was like a giant, like 3-foot black balloon with like tissue paper, pink confetti in it. So we really weren't going anything crazy with it. So
yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. Well, is there anything else that's cooking on your brain, tech wise, Alan, that you want to stress to the audience?
I don't know if it's really pertinent news, but Intel dropped the ball with their latest 11th gen chips. They're actually worse. They're in benchmark reviews. They've actually tested worse than the generation before them. And then they're also adding the premium price of this is our latest generation. So a $900 top end CPU is being beaten by its year-old counterpart. That's $500. It's like,
well, I don't understand that. So they're putting this processor into a whole line of computers.
Well, it's like like right now, Intel is on Intel Gen 11, and they took one of their what should be like their flagship Gen 11 chip, and they match it up against its predecessor in the 10th generation, a year ago technology. The one from a year ago is actually outperforming it.
Is that the one I have?
No, you have a 9th.
Okay, all right.
Still plenty fast. Still plenty fast. Unless you want to be on that bleeding edge, then yeah, we can keep building the machine every.
Mine's what? It's a year and a half old. It's still just as fast as it was the day you installed it. So Eric says just blame the video game Doom. Everyone else does. I don't know what that means.
I'm guessing the video requirements for Doom. I know that game is used a lot for benchmarks. I have not. I got to dabble with the one that came out a few years ago. I think they're releasing a new one, but I don't remember. I don't know. Having a kid ruins video game time.
Yeah, I
spent an hour of my day doing puzzles on the floor. So.
Oh my God! Yes, that is so cool. Holy crap!
Toy Story and Trolls.
Dude, you got it. That's the same thing. I'm the same way. I used to play N64 with my kids, and then finally there just got to a point that it just stopped, and then I haven't played a game since.
Well, kids take up time, so
absolutely. Unless you decide, the key is no sports. I think we've talked about that. Keep them away from sports, and then maybe you can do video games.
Yeah, I already said no tennis and. No soccer.
Track is bad. You don't want track.
Yeah, track does take a long time too.
So now I've stressed many times that the audience that if it's something for home, which could be a computer upgrade, it could be building a new computer or a gaming computer. It could be for the managed IT work, the subscription-based service for any small or medium-sized business. And then, of course, project work, all key things that you do. I think I've touched on all of it. And they can, of course, reach out to you by email. Isn't that right?
Email, phone call.
Sure.
Either works. Just info@bluefrostit or give us a call at the 616-200-8550. And most likely Ashton will answer it. If not, I will.
Yep. 616-200-8550, you said, and info@bluefrostit.com. Awesome. Let's see. What are you drinking? What is that, whiskey?
Yes.
Unwinding.
Yeah. If you still drink, you should definitely see my collection downstairs.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
What is it? Do you just keep old bottles of whiskey all over the place? Brandy, whiskey, scotch? What are we talking about?
I do whiskey, bourbon, and scotch.
What's the difference? I don't have any idea. I just know whiskey is Jack Daniels, right?
Yes.
What is the difference between scotch, whiskey, and bourbon?
I don't like Jack Daniels, but
okay.
It's all on where it's made generally. Like to be called bourbon, it has to be made in Tennessee and Kentucky. The recipe has to be a certain percentage of rye, was it rye, corn, and wheat or something like that in the mash itself. But like you can still, like in America we can make tequila, but we can't call it tequila because it has to be made in a certain area of Mexico that's also using 100% agave nectar to create the tequila, but it has to be made in a certain little area of Mexico. Or Scotch has to be made in Scotland, used American whiskey barrels, and it has to be aged for a minimum of 4 years to be called Scotch. So, yeah, there's a lot of rules.
I keep finding out new things about you that you know of. It's like you kind of know a little bit about a lot of things, and this is a brand new thing. I had no idea you had such knowledge about whiskey.
Yeah, I have about 80, 90 different bottles right now.
Oh my God!
But I have some stuff that's harder to find, that's rare. That a dozen and a half bottles even came to Michigan. So.
Okay, so woodworking, yes.
Yeah.
College football,
yes.
And whiskey. Which one of those do you have? If you had to give up one, which one's going away?
Oh, damn. we need a fourth here because
Is there something else that you are really have a good knowledge of that I don't know about?
I've been working on my culinary arts, but I'm becoming a very good sous chef for Ashland. Right? I'm becoming very efficient with very sharp knives, and I haven't lost any fingers.
What is it?
Eric K says puzzles. Yes, I'm becoming a master.
Yes. What does that mean when someone says you're a sous chef? I don't even know. I've heard of that terminology, but I don't even know what.
You're a sous chef is like, I believe, a second in command kind of thing. They are assisting directly to the head chef. They do a lot of prep work and monitoring.
Okay.
So like when you're prepping veggies, you're prepping meats and stuff like that, cutting it up, doing what you gotta do. You're getting it ready for them to do their work with it.
Okay, so if you're the sous chef, who's actually doing the cooking?
Usually Ashland.
Oh, okay. All right. So she's like the Gordon Ramsay, and you're the one saying yes, chef, and you're chopping shit up for her.
Yeah, or there's a lot of times where I just do it all, and because I want to try a recipe myself.
Okay. Okay, so cooking, college football, woodworking, whiskey. What's going away?
If I could put cooking in there, I'd give up cooking.
Okay, that's down to 3. Between those 3, what's next? We got to finish with one. What is the one thing that you have to have in your life?
Oh, if I got down to the one thing, I would keep whiskey. There's just so much going on. There's always stuff changing. There's so many different things. Like, there's just always so much. There's always so much new stuff.
Can you see the comments? I can't. I don't know if you can see it.
Joey says we need to have a segment called Whiskey Wednesday with Alan. Regis Thompson said the bourbon ratio is rye, corn, and brother to sister marriage ratio. Okay. That's funny.
Holy shit!
Downstairs is a euphemism.
I see. Regis also wrote porn. That's enough.
And then Joey says that when you come over to play Beat Saber, that he wants to come over too. I'm guessing that's what he's getting at.
Of course he is.
But just for the record, this is there's 3 different bottles of Four Roses whiskey. Yeah. This is the Four Roses Small Batch Select. Way better than a single barrel and way better than just a small batch.
So to like a guy like you who is a connoisseur, when you hear about a whiskey line, I said Jack Daniels, and you went, "Oh God, yeah,
I don't like Jack. I don't like Crown. Jim Beam's out. A lot of that stuff I don't like. I'm a huge Irish whiskey guy.
Yeah,
like Jameson's is one of my all-time favorites. I've had almost every one there is, and that's I'm at 15, 16 different kinds. I keep the bottles. I have this huge thing.
Yeah.
Proper 12. Proper 12 is garbage.
What is that? Is that Conor McGregor?
It used to be.
He sold it?
Dude, yeah, like 2 weeks ago. He just doubled his personal net worth by selling that, and he made it for like $153 or $154 million in one day.
Oh my gosh.
He sold it like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
So you've had that and you don't care for it at all.
No, I do not like it. I'm guessing, or Johnny. I'm guessing you mean Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker is hated. I just happened to come across a bottle of scotch that is probably one of the best things I've ever tasted in my life. It's called Lagavulin. It's called Lagavulin. It's their 12-year cask strength, so it's got some what I consider horsepower or high proof for a scotch. Most scotches are like 80 proof. This is like almost 120 or over 120, so it's like 60% alcohol. But the peat, the oil, the smoke, everything that's in it is a fantastic scotch.
I don't know how you non-alcoholics can drink shit and actually have like knowledge and care, because when I drank, all I would do was drink till I threw up, and then that was it. That was all.
Yeah, that's not. I don't. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing. I can't relate to what you do because you're a normal human being. I don't operate that way. It's like, oh my God, I can't stop drinking. So, all right. Well, okay, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I also like beers. I like Irish beer, so I like Guinness.
Jesus,
as well.
There's so many nuances of my friend Alan and the things that he has. How many different things he has going for him. And one of our Zaniac Zooms, you should be there to see how these idiots are so drunk. It's unbelievable.
For what? Oh, those Zoomies. I've never got an invite for those.
I didn't.
I was like, I don't get an invite to these.
I didn't organize them. That they're organized by Patriot Nick. And so, you've got all this cast of people who just sit there. They're from all these different walks of life, and they just kind of all became friends. So I can definitely include you on that. I can tell.
Yeah, because isn't like Megan in there?
Megan is in there.
Yeah.
From time to time. Yeah. Sometimes I show up, very rarely, but sometimes I show up there. It's just kind of hanging out. It says open invite on the Zaniac United page. That's what Kyler says.
I'm just trying to. Sorry, I'm not ignoring him. Just reading comments.
Yeah.
Sadrift says, "Ella, did Eric get Tech Tuesday idea from Rover?" I don't know.
No. Rover is a radio guy. You and I just kind of talked about that and said, let's just get together and chat. That's basically it.
Yeah, I haven't seen any tech questions yet. So.
Yeah, they're usually pretty light. Which is people are like, come on, let's talk whiskey.
Yeah. We could fill a whole another segment. We could do Whiskey Wednesdays.
Yep. I bet you we could do a whole segment on that. College football with Alan, Whiskey Wednesday, woodworking with Alan. Oh my God, all these different shows.
Like This Old House. Remember that show?
Yes. Right. Yeah.
I grew up watching that show with my dad.
Just don't drink the whiskey and then start working in the wood shop.
No. I never ever. I have very strict rules with that.
That's good.
The closest power tool I'll get my hands onto while having a drink, or if I had a drink, is a sander, like a little orbital sander. If anything can remove limbs, I will not touch it.
Let's see. How about this? How soon are 4G phones going to be defunct?
Are you saying the 4G or 4G LTE? 4G LTE will stick around for quite some time. 5G is not going. 5G is still very much at infancy. They're saying you see commercials. That's a bunch of false advertisement BS. That we're the largest country. Whomever that we have the most 4G or 5G across the country. Blah 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 blah. I have a 5G phone. I am in a city, and guess what? It says 4G LTE. So all those cell phone companies are spending all that money on advertisement. I think they should be fined for that, because that's not cool. Just they're saying, "Oh, we have all this," and yeah, it's just, to me, it's false advertisement.
My phone works fine the way it is right now. How much better is it going to be when we have 5G?
5G is a lot faster. It can put the signal can be pushed farther, which is great. I want to see what it can do. What they're talking about and what they're supposed to be able to do with these things. I think there's a lot of bureaucratic red tape as far as certain features or services being allowed in certain cities. Mainly to like, not many people know this, but if you've ever heard of Google Fiber.
Yep, I have heard of that.
Not people know this. Grand Rapids, Michigan was the #1 city for Google Fiber.
I remember when that was happening.
yeah, that was like 2009, 2007, something like that. I don't know. It was a while back, 2010. It was a while back, but the biggest reason that I heard and read about was that they said that the city came back and said, no, 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 we can't have that because you need to put lines up on poles, and we can't do that. So, to me, it looks like Comcast and AT&T and all the other guys in town here all kind of greased some palms and kind of said, hey, we don't want this competition. It's going to ruin us. Think about the tax incentives that we pay to you guys. Blah 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 blah. Who knows? This could be a rabbit hole kind of thing. But all of a sudden, they were told, "Oh no, you can't come in here." Well, I want to see Verizon do that because they're saying they're going to offer 5G wireless internet, and it's just going to be a little antenna that you put in your house that you connect to your router just like you normally would, and boom, now you have potentially gigabit internet wirelessly. No wires have to get put up, no nothing. What can stop that?
What about an area that isn't really that you can't get the internet and you have to use like a satellite setup in order to get internet? Will 5G reach those far places too? Is that the type of is that potentially what could happen?
The low band, there's low, medium, and high bands with 5G. The low band can push like hundreds of miles from a tower, which in theory you could put like 2-3 towers from like north to middle of Michigan and south, and you should pretty much be able to blanket the entire state with what they're saying it can do. So all these rural areas, farmland, stuff like that, just slap these antennas up on the towers just like you're putting the 5G ones, and away you go. Sadrift says, I got a crappy prepaid service, Simple Mobile, and they say my 4G mobile I got a year ago is not going to work with their service within the next year. That could be them. They could be trying to phase people out to keep pushing people to new phones. If you're with Simple Mobile now, try looking at a different carrier and see if they'll take that phone. I mean, you're obviously probably not into like a 2-year contract or anything like that if you're with Verizon or AT&T or something like that. Even those guys are not really doing that too much anymore. But yeah, I would just look at somebody else and see if they'll take that phone. I mean, it could just be the towers will probably still support it. Just because they're all like Simple Mobile and all these cheaper guys like Cricket and all those guys, they lease the towers. They're leasing the tower space from Verizon. From most likely is Verizon. Verizon owns probably 3/4 of the towers in the country, and then they're just leasing bits of bandwidth on all their antennas for all these pop-up companies. That's why they can charge so little, is because they're not paying. They're not paying for the infrastructure. They're just paying to rent it, and they're renting a very small amount.
I see. Okay. All right. Well, if anybody has any other questions as we wrap this up, by all means.
The Starlink is roughly $500. I've seen people have to pay for specialty stuff. I don't know. There's like out in the desert area, like out in Midwest, like Texas, Oklahoma, Nevada, stuff like that. What they were saying, people were reporting that the Starlink equipment was like $800, not $500. But if you live in the middle of nowhere and you have very bad internet, Starlink has been proving to show good numbers. I mean, it's nothing like what I have here at my house. I mean, I have a 400 by 25 connection, which isn't great either. But at the same time, I know that people have been getting like 80 to 100 meg down, which is fantastic. For, normal satellite or anything else like that.
Maze, who knows a thing or two about this exact thing. I know that Maze has struggled with satellite internet, because when I installed it up north at the Fear Bunker, he goes, good luck with that. And he's right. Yeah. It's not that great. I mean, I can, it's good in a pinch, but it's nothing.
You're not going to stream Netflix on a rainy day.
No, not at all. I can barely do the podcast. In fact, it kind of looks janky. And I can do it, but it's just not great. And, so that's something that I'm sure that he would want there in beautiful Saranac.
And every time you see those satellites, those rockets going up, what are they called?
Falcon Heavy.
Yeah, the Falcon 9s. You see those guys going up. They're carrying like 60 to 64 satellites at a clip. Ooh. I mean, those things just go up and they're just plonking these little dots of satellites around the whole globe.
How are they small? They're like this big? I mean, they're just not
Yeah,
big, or
they're very small. They are very small, but yeah, like one of the first beta testing crews was California firefighters when they're last year when they were fighting the forest fires out there.
right?
They're in the middle of nowhere. Some sort of communication or anything. They pop the thing up. They set it up in 5 minutes. It sinks in. They got an internet connection. They can radio back to headquarters. Hey, this is what we're at. This is what we're seeing. And they're like, they packed it up and they're like, we were able to make a call, give an update, do what we need to do, and it took us about 12 to 15 minutes to set up everything. Well, they got to set the tripod up and hook it all up, wire everything up. It wasn't like they just put their laptop open and waited. They had to set and build everything up. But for these guys, they put it in their backpack and be in literally the middle of nowhere with a wall of fire coming at them. Being able to get updates to headquarters because the radios can't get over the mountain ridge or something. Or they're trying to get a GPS location of where they're at. It was fantastic. They're like, this was great. It worked wonderfully.
And probably a fire that was started by a gender reveal.
Probably. A gender reveal from 2 years ago. That still hasn't been put out yet.
Did you ever notice that when they say, "Oh my God, the wildfire just started. It's terrible." There's never a news story where they say definitively, "Hey, the wildfire is out." It just goes away. You never hear about when hey, we're done. Can somebody give us a nod that we got it done, please?
Or even the ones in Australia. Remember that? Like half the country.
Yep.
It was just on the news for a couple of weeks and then poof.
Yep. It just goes away. You know why? Because it's such a TV show. The news is such a TV show. All they're interested in is getting you to watch it. Okay. So that's a gigantic story. And then by the time the fire is out, that's not a gigantic story because they've gone on to the next terrible thing that's on the news. It's all negative, I went for the gender, like the forest fire news ad where it's like, hundreds of buildings destroyed, tens of millions of dollars, and hundreds of millions of dollars in damage. But hey, it's a boy. So there's a silver lining at the end, Yeah,
you never hear that. You never hear that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, dude, I appreciate you. And again, if people have any thing that they want tech related, either a project, managed service, something at home, either a solid state hard drive or build a computer for any home setup, by all means, Blue Frost IT, the ones you need to call, 616-200-8550, or send an email, info@bluefrostit.com.
Or if you want, we can also do for residential. I mean, that was about really all we do is just custom machines or stuff like that. Just because, we can do custom like network setup and stuff like that. If you want something a little more heavy duty, like the one project we just did, that's the big project we just did. The owner wants a 10 gigabit connection to his computer, so I had to run a special Cat 6A line to their office and put a 10 gig NIC card in his machine and stuff like that. Yeah. So he physically has a 10 gigabit network connection to
it just popped into my head, and I always do this. I get ready to wrap it up, and then one more question pops in my head. With the pandemic, so many more people are working from home. Are you finding that, hey, I have to actually do this, wire into a home and add things to it? Is that what this guy wanted, who you're just talking about?
No, this was in an office space, so it was commercial building. All right. So thank God. Wiring homes, like we'll go in and wire what's going to be like when we're working with somebody that's doing like a gut and flip or whatever, they're going in and redoing everything. We'll partner with them and we'll go in. They want to make it like a smart home or something like that.
Right. Right.
If they want to do, if they're like a landlord and they have like a fourplex apartment that they're renovating and they're gutting it out and they want to add internet into the building, we'll go in and wire it up because it's all going to go to like a central network closet, and then they could just add. I just add 4 wireless networks for each suite or for each apartment basically. And then they can add, $50 more to rent because it comes with free internet kind of thing.
You're not on Twitter, are you?
No, we're not.
Okay. Travis was just wondering.
Yeah.
So,
well, is that who? Okay. I see Saydrift.
It is Saydrift. I'm pretty sure that's who that is because he's one of the regulars. But we don't
have one. We have Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn.
Yep. So you can find them there. Please follow, please like all that stuff. Okay. So I'm really, really hoping that Ashlyn stays comfortable. You know, this is getting down to the nitty gritty. Trevor, I said Travis. It's Trevor. But
Trevor.
yeah, okay. So I appreciate the time, buddy. And, good luck with everything. And we'll talk in a month. How does that sound?
Yeah, what's planned for their month, about a month out? I know next week would have been Tech Tip Tuesday on Patch Tuesday, but if anybody, and this can be for anybody, whether you're a business or user, I've seen this a few times over the past month. There's kind of a PSA. If you are printing full page images or anything like that, and your printer, like along the center of it, is like a third, the whole middle of the page is completely white and it's not printing any for any reason. It's because of a security patch from Windows or from Microsoft for Windows 10 that came out last month. It's called, if you have that issue, just go and uninstall that update and it'll take care of the issue. It's KB 50802, so it's literally KB 5000802 is the upgrade. If you have it and you can print and everything's fine, then don't worry about it. It's only affecting some people and some printers. So I've seen it twice now. So just a PSA.
So, well, yeah, if it goes south and you can't back up the video because this is going to be replayed, obviously, and you can get that information. And if you get stuck, just reach out to Alan.
Yeah, definitely. Just shoot me an email info@bluefrostit.com. Ask me what that KB is. I'll just reply to it. It's no big deal. Then you just go into your settings, uninstall, or you go to uninstall updates, and then look for that one. Click on it, hit uninstall. It'll uninstall. You hit reboot. You reboot the machine, and then you can print again. So, another failed patch. So.
All right, buddy. Well, very good. I appreciate it. 616-200. Did I get that right?
You just typed that wrong.
I did type that wrong. Hold on a second.
Say
it again.
616-200-8550.
Jeez. It's embarrassing. All right.
I saw it. That doesn't look right.
It's like, wait a second. It's terrible, but he's an idiot.
Oh, I did get my Highland Park pin. I can show that to you.
What is
They make scotch. So it's for being in their inner circle. I got that in the mail. You can just go on the website and they'll mail you one. But it takes like 6 weeks to get it because it literally comes from Scotland.
It's like Highland Park. Isn't that a rock band? Or no, that's Linkin Park.
Linkin Park. No, this is Highland Park. Yeah, they're actually going to be releasing a 50-year whiskey.
So you're telling me they made it in 1970 and now they let it loose. 71.
Yes.
Oh my God. What's the oldest thing you've ever drank?
I've had a 30-year. Was this a 30-year Macallan or something like that? I happen to own a couple bottles of this. I won't disclose how many, but I do happen to own a couple bottles of Redbreast 27.
What is that?
Batch number 2. Redbreast makes they're an Irish whiskey, but supposedly only 15 bottles came to Michigan, and I own more than one. Yeah,
you can't reveal this shit. Somebody's going to rob you. Good thing you got plenty of guns. That's something else I know you like. You got plenty of guns.
I do. I love my H&K. I got to bring that over to you and show it to you, man. Or you got to next time you're over, I got to show it to you.
You know what we should do?
I just love how it's completely 100% ambidextrous. So you can use it whether you're left or right-handed for all the everything on it, for like the magazine release, the slide, everything. It's going to happen sooner. Well, hopefully sooner. But the guys at BK Guns and stuff in Saranac, I'm supposed to go there and shoot some massive gun that is really, really powerful. The single shot 450 or something like that, and it's like a cannon, and they want me to shoot it, and I'm gonna shoot it. I think they call it like the Super 500 or 500 Super or something like that.
Yeah, it might be. It's big. It's big and ugly and loud, and it's like this.
Yeah, it makes a 357 look like a pellet gun.
Yeah, so it's gonna knock me down, and I'm gonna shoot this thing, and I would love you to be there for that because I know you like guns too.
That'd be cool. Maybe we can make a trip out of it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll smell you later.
All right. How do I end this?
All right. I will.
I'm all new.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
See you, everybody.